So act right.
Yeah. With a little luck, she'll follow her own advice.
If they behave.
No. Yeah. Salto National Oklahoma Tribal Council regular session will come to order. Let us stand for opening prayer and flag salute, please. Chaplain.
Our Father, we thank you, Lord, for this day. We thank you for this time together. And Lord, just as this day, as we gather here, Lord, for our council business, what a privilege it is. But also just to see all those that are here that are gathered for this day, Lord, that we continue to grow and have outgrown this building, Father, that we just are thankful for all the history of all the work that has been done in this council house, Father, and all those that have been before us that have done the business here. We lift them up to you and thank you and ask for your continued guidance of wisdom and leadership to sit us where you would want us to be and lead us where you want us to go, Father. We just thank you and we ask you for your continued direction, Father, and we just lift up all the people that are here today and the love, Lord, that we have for you. And we just thank you again for this wonderful day to be able to gather and do your work. In Jesus' blessed name we pray. Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen. May be seated. Thank you. Roll call.
Thomas Williston.
Here.
Tony Ward.
Here.
Eddie Bohannon.
Here.
Jess Henry.
Here.
Ron Perry.
Here.
Jennifer Woods.
Here.
Joey Tom.
Here.
Perry Thompson. James Dry.
Here.
Anthony Dillard.
Here.
Robert Carr.
Here.
James Frazier.
Here. Approval of minutes, regular session December 10th, 2022. Also special session December 22nd, 2022. Hear a motion for approval.
Make a motion.
Second. Motion made and seconded. Questions or comment?
Comment that should have said 23. I apologize.
Okay. Special session December 22nd, 2023.
December 23rd.
No, it was the 22nd. I'm talking about the year 2023.
Just now it's 23. December was still 22.
Yeah.
Sorry. You are right. I did it right the first time.
Wish away that.
Myself.
Okay.
Anyway, I make the motion.
Okay.
This is Monday or what?
Like Jennifer said earlier, act right.
I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Questions, comments? Oh, okay.
Speaker Williston.
Yes.
Tony Ward.
Yes.
Eddie Bohannon.
Yes.
Jess Henry.
Yes.
Ron Perry.
Yes.
Jennifer Woods.
Yes.
Joey Tom.
Yes.
Perry Thompson.
Yes.
James Dry.
Yes.
Anthony Dillard.
Yes.
Robert Carr.
Yes.
James Frazier.
Yes.
All right. Welcome guests and special recognitions. First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody here, and it's an honor to have these chambers filled as it is, and it's good to see our people taking interest in what the tribal government does, and it's an honor for us, for you guys to be here. That's what I like to say. And also, I like to recognize and commend the younger ones that were sitting a few minutes ago, and as some of the elders came in, they graciously and got up and allowed the elders to sit. So I like to commend the ones that gave up their seats. As usual, we honor the Veteran of the Month from each district, and this month is from District 4. Mr. Robert McCaslin, is he in the audience?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. McCaslin, would you Front.
Stand right here.
Glad you made it. Long way over that mountain there. I recommended Robert this month for the Veteran of the Month. I've known Robert and Barbara. You can't say Robert that you don't say Barbara. Like Button Jeff, I guess.
45 years.
That's a long time. You ought to be paroled by now, right? I've been this over 40 years. But I've known both of them for like 35 plus years. We went to church together, grew up together, our kids played together, hung out together. And somewhere along the way, we got old and grandkids showed up somehow. I don't know how that happened. But I think the world of them. They're good people. They've been good friends to us for years. Anytime you ever need anything, you can always depend on them to show up. And Robert being a veteran all these years, I've always thought the world of him. He was a truck driver. A lot of people would ask me, how do you get along with a truck driver being a trooper? I said, hey, we just leave it at the door. But anyway, I'm gonna read the citation to Robert and present him with this flag. Whereas Robert McCaslin was born on October 29th, 1953, and is a proud member of the Choctaw Nation. He attended Pecola Public School, where he graduated in 1972. After graduation, Mr. McCaslin voluntarily joined the United States Navy during a draft time in June of '72. Robert left Oklahoma, completed basic training at Naval Training Center in Orlando, Florida. Whereas Mr. McCaslin also went on to Military Occupation Specialist MOS School in Orlando, Florida. There he was given orders to the USS Bigelow, is that correct?
That's correct.
A destroyer ship. Seaman recruit McCaslin flew into Amsterdam to meet with his ship at the nearest port. His ship was part of the NATO force, which also included countries such as England, Germany, France, the Turks, and more. They sailed around the North Atlantic and Eastern European countries. He would complete 6-month deployment before returning to his home port of Mayport Naval Station in Jacksonville, Florida. While landside, he completed the Naval Range Training. This was a Caribbean Naval Training, firearms training. His ship was awarded the E-Efficiency Badge for completing with exceptionary scores. The ship was then sent to dry dock for repairs, and Seaman McCaslin was relieved from active duty. After this time of the service, Mr. McCaslin would go on to become a truck driver and own his own rig. An opportunity came along for Mr. McCaslin to serve again overseas. This time as a civilian, he was hired by Kellogg Brown and Root as a heavy equipment operator. He completed 3 tours in combat zones to include Camp Bagram, Afghanistan, and Joint Bales, Iraq. His second deployment was in the Theater Distribution Center, Camp, how can I say it?
Doha.
Doha, Kuwait. Mr. McCaslin was awarded the Achievement Medal for civilian service from the Army for serving as a HE operator. Whereas the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma holds our veterans in the highest esteem and appreciate the sacrifices and contributions they make to preserve our freedoms and the way of life we hold dear. Whereas the Tribal Council of the Choctaw Nation takes great pride in honoring Robert McCaslin as Veteran of the Month. Therefore, pursuant to the motion made by Chief Gary Batten, the Choctaw Nation extends to Robert McCaslin sincere commendations and directs this citation to be presented. Robert, thank you. Robert, you want to get up here, please? Can't do this by himself.
If you'll hold the citation.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Here we go.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. If I could do something real quick.
Sure.
Chief Batten and I would like to present you with this military coin. It covers all branches of service.
Thank you very much. For the audience also, we recognize our first language speaker of each district each month, and Miss Mary Kelly. We will honor her today.
Oh, we call her Mary, Mary, quite contrary. She's probably the least contrary person, full-blood chocolate I've ever met. My mother was full-blood, so I understand. She could jump across the room, hit me 5 times before I could cover up. Mary reminds me a lot of what I call the old school. If you wasn't around and raised by full-bloods, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. Some good, some bad, but it's memorable. But if she's the first one to show up, the last one to leave when we need help. She's there every Wednesday. She missed a couple of Wednesdays ago, and the whole place was like, "Where's Mary? Where's Mary?" And somebody's like, "I called her. I went by and checked on her. She's a little puny today," because that's how dedicated she is there. Yeah. And I had known her for 35 years. I met her 15, 16 months ago, and I don't know what it was about her. It was on the campaign trail, and for some reason, she hooked her wagon to me. At the times, I thought me and her were the only person going to vote for me. But she's a sweet lady, and I'm going to read a short bio on her. Miss Mary Kelly is 80 years old. She was born October 4th, 1942 in Calhoun, Oklahoma, and attended Calhoun School until 8th grade. If you don't know where Calhoun is, it's due west of Shady Point, about 14 miles. You can just barely get there. She married her late husband, William C. Graves, in 1959. Moved to California and had 4 children. Mary moved back to Oklahoma in 1977 and worked in Fort Smith at a furniture factory for 5 years. And switched professions and started working at the Oaks Nursing Home in Poto, where she retired after 25 years. Mary is very active in our Choctaw Senior Citizen Group, participating in chair volleyball, beading, and sewing. She still mows her own lawn and takes long walks around Walmart in her spare time. You pick up a few things for Joy and me while you're there. But she's a blessing to be around. I told her when this was going to happen, she said, "I ain't going." I said, "Yeah, you are." And you can see by the support today of all the people that showed up from District 4, hold your hand up. That I couldn't get this many people at my funeral. She gets an award and the whole town of Poto shuts down. But I said, "Just stand beside me and grin and shake your head. I'll do all the talking." That was our agreement. And then she decided that somebody convinced her she had to go to every council meeting from now till the end of time. And I said, no, don't have to do that. I said, you just stand there and grin and shake your head, yes. But anyway, certificate of recognition for Mary Kelly, presented on this 14th day of January in the year 2023 by Chief Gary Batten, Chief Jack Austin Jr., and myself, Jess Henry, District 4 Councilman. I take great pride, and I consider it a great honor to represent District 4, and especially people like this who have paved the way for people like me. I stand on a lot of people's shoulders today, and she just happens to be one of them. So she means a lot to me. Thank you. Down. Anyway, thank you.
They came in.
Thank you, girl.
See, Thomas is trying to get around and get in there.
Smile. Yeah.
Thanks, William.
Every time I see him, I'm supposed to you.
Okay.
And I think that's all I'm supposed to do.
And vote. All right. Mr. McCaston and Ms. Kelly, on behalf of Tribal Council, we'd like to congratulate both of you. Mr. McCaston, thank you for your sacrifices and your service to our country and to your Choctaw people. You're one of the men that give us the opportunity to gather here in this manner and celebrate our people, and the good things that we've done, we will do, our kids will do. So thank you for your service. Ms. Kelly, I'd like to commend you and thank you for being the inspiration that you have been for these 80 years. Whether you realize it or not, you're an inspiration to all, to many, to our young, to our grandkids, your grandkids. So thank you for your sacrifices and your service to all our people. So thank you. I'd like to recognize the language department also for helping us recognize great tribal members, great Choctaws. So thank y'all. So with that, no public comments, reports of committees.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to give a short report on the American Rescue Plan Act funding we received from the U.S. Treasury. There's no new projects put in place since last month, but just like to give an update. There's a total of 27 projects that we've used our some of this money for. And the three biggest were the McAllister Clinic at $69.8 million, the expansion there, the Tellahena Data Center, which is a $30.9 million project, and the Hugo Services Building we just put in place in the last month or so for $26.1 million. Of them 27 other initiatives that we put in process, 4 of them are community water projects that we announced last month for $8.1 million to help different communities in our reservation. And these are matching funds that match the state of Oklahoma's ARPA funds. They're in Bryan County Rural Water District Number 2, City of Tellahena Water Treatment Plant Rehabilitation, Town of Pittsburgh Water Treatment Plant Distribution Systems Improvement, and the Sardis Lake Water Authority Plant Rehabilitation. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilman. Further committee reports. Let's go into new business. I'd like to advise the crowd that as we go through these council bills, we have discussed these prior to today. We've gone through, one by one. We had the opportunity to discuss any questions that we might have within these council bills. That's about it. Mr. Secretary.
Mr. Speaker, we have some council bills today. Council Bill A, approve the disposal of surplus capital assets dash equipment. Mr. Speaker, I make a motion we vote on this council bill.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Questions, comments?
Speaker, the Choctaw Nation has surplus capital assets that are broken, obsolete, or otherwise exceeded their useful life. We're simply no longer a use to the nation. This bill asks for the approval to dispose of furniture, fixtures, or equipment with an original cost of $388,672.41, a net book value of $161,946.72, and a fair market value of $166,351.95, including all listed inventory as attached in Exhibit A. That's the reason for this council bill, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Councilman. Any further comment? Vote.
Speaker Williston,
Yes.
Tony Ward,
Yes.
Eddie Bohannon,
Yes.
Jess Henry,
Yes.
Ron Perry,
Yes.
Jennifer Woods,
Yes.
Joey Tom,
Yes.
Perry Thompson, James Dry,
Yes.
Anthony Dillard,
Yes.
Robert Carr,
Yes.
James Frazier.
Yes.
Council Bill B, approve the disposal of surplus capital assets dash vehicles. Mr. Speaker, I make a motion we vote on this council bill.
I second it.
Motion made and seconded. Question, comment?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. The purpose or need of this council bill, the Choctaw Nation has capital assets such as furniture, fixtures, equipment, or vehicles that are broken, obsolete, have exceeded their useful life, or simply no longer have a use to the nation. This bill asks for approval to dispose of furniture, fixtures, equipment, or vehicles with an original cost of $505,443.23, a net book value of $0, and a fair market value of $146,523, including all listed inventory as attached in Exhibit A. Mr. Speaker, this concludes my report.
Councilman, further comment? Vote.
Speaker Williston?
Yes.
Tony Ward?
Yes.
Eddie Bohannon?
Yes.
Jess Henry?
Yes.
Ron Perry?
Yes.
Jennifer Woods?
Yes.
Joey Tom?
Yes.
Perry Thompson?
Yes.
James Dry?
Yes.
Anthony Dillard?
Yes.
Robert Carr?
Yes.
James Frazier?
Yes.
Council Bill C, approve a fiber optic easement in favor of Pine Cellular on land held by USA and trust for the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma in McCurtain County, Oklahoma. Mr. Speaker, I make a motion we vote on this council bill.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Questions, comment?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Purpose of this council bill is to approve a fiber optic easement in favor of Pine Cellular on land held by the USA in trust for the Choctaw Nation located in Hochtown in the southeast 1/4 section of Section 1, Township 5 South, Range 24 East, McCurtain County, Oklahoma, containing 0.92 acres. And there is a survey plat and legal description that is attached to this. That's all I got, Mr. Speaker.
Councilman, further comments? Vote.
Speaker Williston?
Yes.
Tony Ward?
Yes.
Eddie Bohannon?
Yes.
Jess Henry?
Yes.
Ron Perry?
Yes.
Jennifer Woods?
Yes.
Joey Tom?
Yes.
Perry Thompson?
Yes.
James Dry?
Yes.
Anthony Dillard?
Yes.
Robert Carr?
Yes.
James Frazier?
Yes.
Council Bill D, approve an electric line easement in favor of Choctaw Electric Cooperative Incorporated on land held by the USA and trust for the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma in McCurtain County, Oklahoma. Mr. Speaker, I make a motion we vote on this council bill.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Questions, comment?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Purpose of this council bill is to approve an electric line easement in favor of Choctaw Electric Cooperative Incorporated on land held by the USA in trust for the Choctaw Nation located in Hochtown in the southeast quarter of Section 1, Township 5 South, Range 24 East, McCurtain County, Oklahoma, containing 1.5 acres. And there's a survey plat and legal description attached to this also. That's all I got, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Councilman. Further comment? Vote.
Speaker Williston?
Yes.
Tony Ward?
Yes.
Eddie Bohannon?
Yes.
Jess Henry?
Yes.
Ron Perry?
Yes.
Jennifer Woods?
Yes.
Joey Tom?
Yes.
Perry Thompson? James Dry?
Yes.
Anthony Dillard?
Yes.
Robert Carr?
Yes.
James Frazier?
Yes.
Council Bill E, approve a water line easement in favor of McCurtain County, Oklahoma, Rural Water District Number 5 on land held by the USA in trust for the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma in McCurtain County, Oklahoma. Mr. Speaker, I make a motion we vote on this council bill.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Questions, comments?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, the purpose of this council bill is to approve a water line easement in favor of McCurtain County Rural Water District Number 5, a land held by the USA in trust for Choctaw Nation, located in Hochtown in the southeast quarter of Section 1, Township 5 South, Range 24, the same ones we've been talking about, McCurtain County, Oklahoma, containing 0.96 acres. Again, there's a survey plat and legal description attached to this also. That's all I got, Mr. Speaker.
Lot going
Sure.
on.
Oh, he's got that.
And it's going on southeast quarters of section.
Any further comment?
No, Mr. Speaker.
Vote.
Speaker Williston?
Yes.
Tony Ward?
Yes.
Eddie Bohannon?
Yes.
Jess Henry?
Yes.
Ron Perry?
Yes.
Jennifer Woods?
Yes.
Joey Tom?
Yes.
Perry Thompson? James Dry?
Yes.
Anthony Dillard?
Yes.
Robert Carr?
Yes.
James Frazier?
Yes.
Council Bill F, amend the Choctaw Nation Juror Code relating to summoning jurors. Mr. Speaker, I make a motion, we vote on this council bill.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Questions, comments?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. The purpose of this council bill, this bill amends the Choctaw Nation Juror Code by amending Section 4, which relates to summoning persons for jury service. This amendment contained in this bill is for the purpose of reducing the unnecessary cost associated with issuing jury summons by certified mail and increasing judicial efficiency.
Thank you, Councilperson. Further questions, comments? Vote.
Speaker Williston?
Yes.
Tony Ward?
Yes.
Eddie Bohannon?
Yes.
Jess Henry?
Yes.
Ron Perry?
Yes.
Jennifer Woods?
Yes.
Joey Tom?
Yes.
Perry Thompson?
Yes.
James Dry?
Yes.
Anthony Dillard?
Yes.
Robert Carr?
Yes.
James Frazier?
Yes.
Council Bill G, approve the donation of surplus capital assets dash vehicles. Mr. Speaker, I make a motion, we vote on this council bill.
I'll second that, Mr. Speaker.
Motion made and seconded. Questions, comments?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma Donations Committee has received a request from the Calvin Police Department for a donation of patrol vehicles. The Donations Committee has evaluated the request and the nation's current law enforcement fleet and determined that the nation has surplus patrol vehicles that exceeded their useful life to the nation, listed with an original cost of $77,527.67 and a fair market value of $9,252.00, as listed in the attached Exhibit A. The donations of the patrol vehicles will increase public safety to the Choctaw Reservation, as the Calvin Police Department is located within the Choctaw Nation Reservation and services many Choctaw members who reside of the city of Calvin. The Calvin Police Department is also has a cross-deputized agreement with the Choctaw Nation. Purpose of the council bill, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Councilman. Any further comment? Vote.
Speaker Williston?
Yes.
Tony Ward?
Yes.
Eddie Bohannon?
Yes.
Jess Henry?
Yes.
Ron Perry?
Yes.
Jennifer Woods?
Yes.
Joey Tom?
Yes.
Perry Thompson?
Yes.
James Dry?
Yes.
Anthony Dillard?
Yes.
Robert Carr?
Yes.
James Frazier?
Yes.
Council Bill H, approve rescission of Council Bill -86-21 and approve funding for equity investment in restaurant to be located in Atoka, Oklahoma. Mr. Speaker, I make a motion, we vote on this council bill.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Questions, comments?
Mr. Speaker, purpose of the council bill is in CB 86-21, the tribal council approved funding for a $3 million for an equity investment in an entity that would build and operate a new restaurant in Atoka, Oklahoma. At the time of this council bill, the name of the restaurant was still under an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, but that location is now known as Reba's Place. Since such approval, market factors have caused the design and construction cost of the new restaurant to increase and have delayed opening in the new restaurant, all of which have resulted in the need for additional equity contribution. This council bill approves a new total equity investment in this entity for the construction and operation of this new restaurant. The budget for this council bill is $3,800,000, which that is our half of the equity investment. And just an update on the progress of the restaurant so far. They've been open since January the 2nd, and the activity or the patron flow has been considerably above what the estimate was. So it's looking good so far. There is a VIP grand opening marketing grand opening that's going to be happening at the latter part of this month. And with that grand opening event, the marketing is fixing to go all over the country. So I know just living there in Atoka, there and talking to the community, everybody's already fussing about the parking situation that is in downtown, which is causing quite a disruption. But I think it's really going to be a great investment for the tribe, as well as Reba McIntyre, and so far it's been a great partnership, and looks to be a very profitable partnership. So we're looking forward to its progress. For this purpose. Thank you,
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to add to that. I think one of the things that we talked about in 2000, we're using some of our beef, our Choctaw beef. I think we're around 60% of our Choctaw raised beef at our ranches is going to that restaurant. So, you know, that's another awesome caveat to that restaurant, that we're able to raise, you know, the Choctaw Nation our own beef, and it's going to that restaurant as well. And then along with it to Atoka Public Schools and some other entities, and we're going to start using some of the beef for taco sales for our seniors at some of our centers and stuff too. So it's going to be our Choctaw beef, and it's just another way that, you know, we can utilize our own cattle, and just, you know, makes us more diversified and everything. So we appreciate that as well.
Thank you, Councilman. Further comment? Vote.
Speaker Williston.
Yes.
Tony Ward.
Yes.
Eddie Bohannon.
Yes.
Jess Henry.
Yes.
Ron Perry.
Yes.
Jennifer Woods.
Yes.
Joey Tom.
Yes.
Terry Thompson.
Yes.
James Dry.
Yes.
Anthony Dillard.
Yes.
Robert Carr.
Yes.
James Frazier.
Yes.
Council Bill I, resolution supporting the Cole County General Hospital's application to the USDA for distance learning and telemedicine grant. Mr. Speaker, I make a motion we vote on this council bill.
Second that.
Motion made and seconded. Questions, comment?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, the purpose of this resolution is to support Cole County General Hospital's application to the United States Department of Agriculture for a distant learning and telemedicine grant. This is a grant available to rural healthcare providers to increase telemedicine availability and connectivity. Cole County General Hospital leadership has asked for the nation's support of their application, since Cole County is located within the nation's tribal statistical area. That's the purpose of the resolution, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Councilman. Any further comments? Vote.
Speaker Williston.
Yes.
Tony Ward.
Yes.
Eddie Bohannon.
Yes.
Jess Henry.
Yes.
Ron Perry.
Yes.
Jennifer Woods.
Yes.
Joey Tom.
Yes.
Terry Thompson.
Yes.
James Dry.
Yes.
Anthony Dillard.
Yes.
Robert Carr.
Yes.
James Frazier.
Yes.
Council Bill J, resolution supporting the McAllister Regional Health Center's application to the USDA for distance learning and telemedicine grant. Mr. Speaker, I make a motion we vote on this council bill.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Questions, comment?
Yes, this is similar to Mr. Frazier's resolution. It's purpose of this resolution to support the McAllister Regional Health Center's application to the United States Department of Agriculture for a distance learning and telemedicine grant. This grant is available to rural healthcare providers to increase telemedicine availability and connectivity. McAllister Regional Health Center leadership has asked the nation support their application since Pittsburgh County is located within the nation's tribal statistical area. And this is also great that we can support our communities and even our other community healthcare facilities.
Well said, Councilman. Any further comment? Vote.
Speaker Williston.
Yes.
Tony Ward.
Yes.
Eddie Bohannon.
Yes.
Jess Henry.
Yes.
Ron Perry.
Yes.
Jennifer Woods.
Yes.
Joey Tom.
Yes.
Terry Thompson.
Yes.
James Dry.
Yes.
Anthony Dillard.
Yes.
Robert Carr.
Yes.
James Frazier.
Yes.
Council Bill K, resolution supporting nomination of Dr. Marie Cole to HHS Advisory Committee in Infant and Maternal Mortality. Mr. Speaker, I make a motion we vote on this council bill.
I second it. And the
Motion made and seconded.
second.
Comments?
Yes, Speaker, the purpose of I didn't want Tony jumping in there. The purpose of this resolution is to support the nomination of Dr. Marie Cole, pediatrician, to serve on the United States Department of Health and Human Services Advisory Committee on Infant and maternal mortality as a representative of the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma. Dr. Cole is an experienced pediatrician, and she will serve the interests of the nation well and represent the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma and Indian Country well. And I would also like to add that she has helped many of our children, our families, our mothers, and my 9-year-old grandson, Raylan. She made the decision to have him life-flighted to St. Francis when he was born 9 years ago. And we give God and her the glory for how healthy he is today.
Thank you, Councilman. Further comments? Vote.
Speaker Williston,
Yes.
Tony Ward,
Yes.
Eddie Bohannon.
Yes.
Jess Henry.
Yes.
Ron Perry.
Yes.
Jennifer Woods.
Yes.
Joey Tom.
Yes.
Harry Thompson.
Yes.
James Dry.
Yes.
Anthony Dillard.
Yes.
Robert Carr.
Yes.
James Frazier.
Yes.
Council Bill L, resolution supporting nomination of Ty Baker to serve on the White House Environmental Justice Advisory Committee. Mr. Speaker, I make a motion, we vote on this council bill.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Questions, comments?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, the purpose of this resolution is to support the nomination of Ty Baker to serve as a member of the White House Environmental Justice Advisory Council as a representative of the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma. Mr. Baker is a member of the Choctaw Nation who has utilized his background and expertise to lead many important environmental projects for the Choctaw Nation. He now leads all departments related to environmental protection for the Choctaw Nation. Based on his experience and expertise, Mr. Baker will serve the interests of the nation well and represent Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma and Indian Country well. Also, he's been a long-time associate as well, and has a vast knowledge. And when we were talking the other day, we have, I guess, there's over 35 different people that serve on these committees that Chief appoints, and then that we vote on. And it's important to have representation, for the Choctaw Nation, where they can give information back to Chief, Assistant Chief, and Tribal Council. So these appointments are very vital to the growth and success of the Choctaw Nation.
Thank you, Councilman. Certainly agree with that. Further comments? Vote.
Speaker Williston,
Yes.
Tony Ward.
Yes.
Eddie Bohannon.
Yes.
Jess Henry.
Yes.
Ron Perry.
Yes.
Jennifer Woods.
Yes.
Joey Tom.
Yes.
Harry Thompson.
Yes.
James Dry.
Yes.
Anthony Dillard.
Yes.
Robert Carr.
Yes.
James Frazier.
Yes.
Council Bill M, resolution supporting nomination of Brian McLean to the USDA Forest Service Southern Region Rural Schools and Resource Advisory Committee. Mr. Speaker, I make a motion, we vote on this council bill.
Second. Motion made and seconded. Questions, comments?
Mr. Speaker, the purpose of this resolution is to support the nomination of Brian McLean to serve as a member of the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA, Forest Service Southern Region Rural Schools Resource Advisory Committee as a representative of the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma. Mr. McLean's experience and expertise will make him a valuable asset to this committee and an excellent representative of the nation and Indian Country as a whole.
Thank you, Councilman. Further comments?
Mr. McLean, standing right back there, helping us.
I'd like to make mention and bring to light that, if you're over 60 years old, 55 or 60 years old, you know our Choctaw Nation was back in the 70s. We didn't have a whole lot. As you look today, we have our tribal members in higher positions in Washington, D.C. That's probably unheard of back then. And the council bills that we've gone through today is a testament as to the growth of the Choctaw Nation. And I'm honored, I'm proud to be a part of it. We owe this to, as Councilman Henry mentioned a while ago, we all stand on the shoulders of many men and women. We owe our ancestors so much, the ones that sacrificed on the Trail of Tears to get us all here where we're at today. So as we go through the course of the day, the course of life, let's look back and give thanks to the ones that gave us the opportunity here. And that's our veterans that protect our freedom. So with that, any further comments? Vote.
Speaker Williston,
Yes.
Tony Ward.
Yeah. Yes.
Eddie Bohannon,
Yes.
Jess Henry,
Yes.
Ron Perry,
Yes.
Jennifer Woods,
Yes.
Joey Tom,
Yes, ma'am.
Harry Thompson,
Yes.
James Dry,
Yes.
Anthony Dillard,
Yes.
Robert Carr,
Yes.
James Frazier.
Yes.
That's all the council bills, Mr. Speaker.
Other new business?
Speaker, could I loop back on the just previous new business on the, disposal of the surplus capital assets? I know a lot of people get wondering, where does this surplus go to? I know for most of our equipment, our facilities department, they get with reneebates.com, which is it's a online auction service to help dispose of a lot of those assets. So you can kind of look up the reneebates.com website, and you can go down through there and see when the Choctaw Nation has an auction. There's really not any, I don't know that we do any formal alerts of when an auction is coming on, but that's for the equipment. Now on the vehicles, since last quarter, we initiated a tribal member preference vehicle auction. The way that I believe that we're advertising that is we're trying to make sure that we get in touch with the community centers to let them know to advertise when there's going to be a vehicle auction. But the other avenue, I guess, for advertisement is the Facebook, social media, where that is being advertised predominantly. So you can keep an eye out on that for the opportunity to go and participate in an auction to try and get some of these surplus vehicles. So just wanted to add that since we had such a good crowd to let them know. So.
Thank you, Councilman. Good information.
If I could just add on to Councilman Dillard's comments, just in regards to excess equipment, just also too, if any of our local Choctaw churches or organizations need any equipment that we may have that we're going out to auction, they can reach out to Doug Sneed in our office as well as procurement, and just check in with them if there's any excess equipment there that we're able to donate back to them.
And with that being said, Assistant Chief, maybe we could initiate or advise our churches that if they are needing certain type of, say, office equipment, say, send in a list, and if and when we do get rid of our surplus equipment, such as office furniture, well, we'll just go through the list, and that's our surplus equipment for whatever they need. Sure. That's all. Thank you, Councilman Dillard, for bringing that up. Thank you, Assistant Chief.
Mr. Speaker, if I may, I know we're fixing to adjourn and go outside for festivities, but I just like to say, this is the last council meeting here in this building. And it's, it's an honor for all of us to serve, and we don't want to forget the, former council members and women in the past. I'm just glad to see Mr. Cox here today as well. They're so instrumental in the growth of the nation and where we are today. And we talk about standing on the backs of our ancestors, but there was a lot of big decisions through the years that have been made in this building, this small building, and to where we are today. Driving up here and thinking about even coming from game and thinking of the old bingo hall and where the mega resort is now, and just the growth even at Kohler and all of our facilities and all of our districts with all the housing and stuff. If you think about it, with all the council bills that have been passed through here, you're talking about even with the growth, billions of dollars. Who would have thought that years ago? Where we are today, but we owe a lot to our former council members and stuff that helped pave the way, for us. And I want to say appreciate that, Mr. Cox. I'm glad you're here today, and other family members of former council members as well.
Yes, and to add on to that, yes, Mr. Cox, it's good to see you and Dolores here with us today, and all of this. This is a very nice crowd, and I think only once or twice during my 32 years sitting here that I've seen this many people in this place. So, Mr. Speaker, we definitely need a big new chamber so we can have more of our Choctaw people come out and take interest in our Choctaw business. And as we were here the other day just talking, amongst ourselves, Mr. Dry and I was saying, well, if these walls could talk. You know? And, anyway, it's been an experience for 32 years on how big this nation has got.
I certainly agree, Councilman. I can,
Mr. Speaker, again, just kind of what everybody has said. Again, it's just great to see everybody here today, and we encourage you when we get the new building to come back and join us every second Saturday of the month and fill up that building also. So appreciate y'all being here today.
Mr. Speaker, before you speak. Again, like everybody's saying, we all could say, keep on saying stuff, but we appreciate you all showing up and volunteering. I mean, coming and seeing all this, and especially the young generation too that's here. Continue to come, continue to see what's going on and stuff, because the things that we're doing in that direction is for you and stuff. So appreciate that. Thank you.
Before Mr. Speaker speaks also, I would like to say I talked to our former District 6 Councilman Joe Coley yesterday, and then he called early this morning and he wanted me to relay that he would have loved to have been here, and he thinks about everybody, and he's going to come when we get the new one, but his knees were hurting him today, so he couldn't make it, but he's very wanted to be here with us today, and I'm very thankful for all the work he did before and for the privilege of the work we get to do now. And it's because of all of you that we work the way we do, and chief and assistant chief and all the things we see, and Delton, all of the goals that we see coming up and the growth. We're so very thankful, and thankful for all of you to come today.
anybody else?
Now, Speaker.
Well, shucks, these guys stole my thunder. I was also recognize the young fellas that come in, and they could be home watching cartoons, but they're here with Dad, and we appreciate you guys coming. Where y'all from? Spiral. Okay. Good to have you, and also.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. One more thing. I think it almost may be fitting to have ask Mr. Cox if he has anything to say.
Yes.
Great. We got 30 minutes. I'd like to acknowledge former Councilman District 4, Mr. Delton Cox. He's a longtime tribal member, council person, and he was very instrumental in drawing up our Choctaw Nation Constitution back in the late 70s, early 80s. So it's an honor to have you, Mr. Cox. And
well, this was a part of our life for many years. My course was asked by our former chief to come work for the tribe first as a treasurer for the tribe. And then one of my cousins who was on the council said she would retire if I would run. My brother had been on it before her, so it sort of played for me. Actually, the two that got me to run was James Frazier and of course Charlotte. Charlotte said, you can have it for 1 year or you can have it for 10 years. I thought she was joking. But anyway, after election 5 different times, I thought it was time for me to step down. But if you don't know her, what people know her more than know me. This is my wife, Dolores, and she was the Choctaw language teacher at Stigler, Hodo, Spiral. Now she decided she didn't want to do that anymore. And next week will be our 53rd wedding anniversary. Chief always reminds me of this because that's his wedding anniversary. We didn't have a whole lot of money like when I first came aboard. I was going through some papers trying to see exactly what we had. Well, since that time, since I was on the council. The council bought over 90,000 acres of land returned to control of the Choctaw Nation. That's almost as big as some of the states, but it's still not enough. All of this belonged to us at one time. This was our country. And so of course, I was always trying to buy more land, and I always, for some reason, well, we couldn't. But we need to take into consideration all of the non-natives that we have within the Choctaw Nation also. We need your help and support politically. So we need to be sure to keep that in mind. But it was an honor and aspiration of mine to do what I did. I hope we still try to again, but as you notice, I wear hearing aids now, and I wear glasses all the time. But I wasn't as bad as my knee and my diabetes. And I still have my original teeth in time. So I'm sorry to speak it out. Thank you very much for
Delton. Delton, how many terms did you serve as our speaker, sitting right there?
10.
10 terms. And every time he ran, we never did have to vote 15 times on it.
Recall.
He was a fine example for a speaker.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, we also have Glenn Johnson here too.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Good to see everybody.
I was gonna touch on that and recognize Glenn Johnson. It's a pleasure being here. You got something brief that you'd like to share with us?
It's just really good to see everybody. You know, sometimes I feel like politics can divide us, but ultimately we're all Choctaws, and it's nice to focus on things that unite us. And there are a lot of things that unite us, and I'm just proud to be Choctaw and proud to be here with you today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have any further or any more former council persons? Okay, I'd just like to briefly say that, you know, as I mentioned a while ago, a long time ago, prior to 70s, the Choctaw Nation did not have what we have today. I'd like to attribute to the growth of our nation and the assistance to our people, all our people, that Mr. Johnson said, the unity that has been under this one roof to make our people's lives better. I mentioned sometime ago, and I'll say it a lot before, and I'll say it, keep on saying this. We stand, and as Councilman Cox has mentioned before, we stand on the shoulders of great men, great people. And we as parents, grandparents, we want better for our kids. We've all said that. And we will continue to say that. Even when we're gone. The ones here will say that also. We want better for our people. Continuously. That will never die. So with that, after this council meeting is adjourned, we'll have a brief ceremony outside in honor of this building. Because as we mentioned that we will be building a new council chambers, and that will have, you won't have to stand in that one. It will have at least 150 seating, very nice, and that's what we've been working for, not for us, but for all our people, so they can have honor and proud of what has transpired. Thank you. Any other new business?
No, but Mr. Speaker, if I may, one last thing. It's good to see our District 7 people here. And I appreciate them coming. So you'll get to hear us sing here in a little bit.
I think District 4 still outnumbers you though.
I would like to add that District 6 always comes.
District 1 said, you can have it. Okay, any old business? A motion for adjournment.
I make a motion.
I second it.
Motion made, seconded. Vote.
Speaker Williston,
Yes.
Tony Ward,
Yes.
Eddie Bohannon.
Yes.
Jess Henry.
Yes.
Ron Perry.
Yes.
Jennifer Woods.
Yes.
Joey Tom.
Yes.
Terry Thompson.
Yes.
James Dry.
Yes.
Anthony Dillard.
Yes.
Robert Carr.
Yes.
James Frazier.
Yes. Let us stand for closing prayer, please. Chaplain.
Our Father, we're very thankful, Lord, that for everything, for our breath, for our health, for your guidance, for your love in us, Lord, and your direction and the growth. And Lord, just may we never take anything for granted, Father, for the privileges that you allow us, for the direction, Lord, for everything, for us to be up here, Father, for those that have went on, those that have sacrificed so much, Father, and for our veterans, for our elders, for our grandparents, for those, Lord, that have gave their lives just because they have not been able to see the privileges and the growth and just even the richness that we have now. Better medical, more housing, more jobs. And Lord, just help us to always just give you the honor and the glory for that. And be thankful every day, Lord, for what we have and these grounds that we stand on right now. Father, we just thank you as we go outside, and Lord, for the last time in here, Father, but for the future, for what you're going to bring and lead us into. We're excited. We give you the honor and the glory. We thank you, Father. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen.
About the vehicles that
I would do it now because it'll take everybody a while to get out there and get set up.
John 3:16 in Tulsa.
Actually, on the calendar, it started at noon.
And all that. Here, now it's turned on.
Are you serious? You haven't even looked at mine.
I told them, did y'all look? Because I had it with my council.
About when the auction
And,
will be.